Hello and welcome to stuff.jpg, a podcast about images and stuff. My name is Holly St Clair and today I am joined by my sister Issy. Issy, how are you?
Hello. I am good, thank you. I feel a bit crazy, but that's okay.
That's fine. It's all good.
We're buzzing. It's going to be
We're
fun.
buzzing. I think I'm the opposite of buzzing.
Oh. Well, I'll bring the buzzing for the both of us.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Like, the first thing I did this morning when I woke up was every morning I have a squash and a coffee.
That's a fun combination.
I have like a rule of 3 drinks, which is like one for health, one for hydration, one for happiness. The coffee is health because otherwise I don't really function very well.
Yeah.
And the hydration is the squash mixed with happiness because I won't drink water unless it tastes like something because I'm 4 years old. So I'm making my little drinks in the morning and I pick up the milk and I pour it into my squash. And then I pick up the squash and I pour it into my coffee. So that's the mood I'm in today.
Oh, that's so sad. I really thought, because I have witnessed this many a time while working, of pouring milk into something and it's not quite gone off in the jug, but as soon as it goes into something hot, it then
No.
It's why I don't drink regular milk, because I've steamed so much milk that has turned essentially curdled as I've steamed it, because it was fine cold.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's gross.
I hate it.
I can only have dairy milk if I've not had to witness it. You know what I mean? If someone's made me a drink but I've not seen it, it's fine. if I've touched it, if I witnessed it, I'm like, it's tainted. I don't know what it's been through.
Oh my god. That's like, yeah, the extreme length of not my circus, not my monkey.
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't sound very fun.
No,
unless you like orange coffee, that's a thing.
It's a thing?
Yeah. Coffee with orange is meant to be nice. Either as a, what do you call them? An Americano spritz vibe, or you don't have it with milk. You'd have it with
Oh my god. Right, I've got to try that.
Yeah. I've heard it's meant to be nice.
Producer Tom knows this about me, but I love my horrible drinks.
Yeah.
Big fan of pickle juice and Coke and apple flavoured milk. And I'm really into coco de nata at the moment, which is
Is that?
It's coconut water that's been solidified into a jelly, but it's put into nice, fruity little drinks.
Is it almost like those grass jelly drinks you used to have as a kid?
Yeah.
But just different flavour.
But it's it's a firmer jelly. It's almost like chow chow.
Oh, okay.
In a drink.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Why is that bad? The other ones I can understand why they're questionable, but that sounds pretty normal. Or not normal, but just
I think
fun.
it's because the process of making the jelly is using loads of vinegar.
Oh.
Yeah.
This feels like the same situation of me and milk. You just don't watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't look at the process. You just take the end result.
Exactly. I love my delicious chewy jelly. Okay. Izzy, you don't know why I've brought you here today.
No, I couldn't remember if you told me and I just forgot, or you haven't told me.
I didn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Partly because I couldn't really decide what I wanted to do with you. I try and choose something I think the person will enjoy. I think of it as giving them a gift, usually a gift that makes them really sad, or really angry. We'll see how you feel at the end.
I'm intrigued to see what you think is nice for me.
I don't know.
What if it's something really messed up? Am I meant to take offense?
Okay.
We'll see.
First slide. Today we are talking about the Degenerate Art Exhibition 1937.
Oh, of course. My favourite art exhibition of 1937.
See, it's the only one anyone ever talks about. Right. I'm going to tell you a story. Are you ready?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Are you offended?
I just remembered that you said that there will be some German for me to try and remember.
Yeah, I do need you to correct my pronunciation if you can.
Oh, I can't really tell with the font what the words are, to be honest. So, carrot, it's all good.
Interesting. Okay. On the morning of the 19th of July, 1937, a queue of people waited patiently outside of the Hofgarten wing of the residence of Galleriestrasse 4 to visit a new art exhibition on its opening day. The previous exhibition held at the Hofgarten wing had been a display of ancient plaster casts from the classical period, preserved by the Archaeological Institute. This new show would be very different. This was, and still is to this day, the largest modern art exhibition ever staged. You probably have an image in mind of a white cube-style gallery, big rooms, bare walls, and carefully curated artworks dotted about. Not the case here. When the visitors entered, they were immediately confronted with a chaotic and confusing space. The show had come into being over a fortnight. It contained over 650 works spread across just 7 rooms. There were paintings hung up unframed with tacks directly into the wall. Some were upside down. Sculptures were set on the floor without plinths. The gallery walls had murals, and the new paintings were simply hung on top of the existing work. When space inevitably ran out, makeshift temporary walls were erected in front of windows, creating a dark, maze-like environment. To top it off, where there was wall space, propagandistic slogans blared out, stating that these artworks were nature as seen by sick minds. The exhibition was one of Nazi Germany's most successful propaganda pieces. Die Ausstellung in Tante Kunst, the Degenerate Art Exhibition. How'd I do in my pronunciation?
I heard what you were going for.
Okay.
The issue is because I assume it's what it said on that first sign. And it was weird because it's like, I assumed the first word was meant to be Ausstellung, which is like, I haven't spoken German in like 10 years, so my pronunciation is not good.
I think it's better than I ever have. Ausstellung, yes, okay.
Ausstellung? Wait, no. Let me feel my inner... I feel like I always sound a bit angry when I'm speaking in German.
Ausstellung.
Like you have to have a bit... Yeah. Got to have a bit of oomph behind it, like you're about to start something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to start something.
Which, yeah, sounds like something's about to go on.
Okay, this is how it says. Die Ausstellung in Intertet...
Intarte? It's like what?
It's
E-I-N-T-R-T.
Entartete.
That's a word I've never read. I wouldn't really... I feel like I'd almost go for Entarte.
Entarte Kunst.
Entarte Kunst, yeah. Yeah, that just sounds how you think it's going to sound, and it sounds a bit bad. But it just means art. So I assume that's...
Oh, no. So yes, this is the Degenerate Art Exhibition. Have you ever heard about this?
No.
Okay, good. That's good.
Which is quite surprising, because I feel like I can guess what it's going to be about. And I'm surprised that I didn't look at it at all while I was at school.
This is the cover for the exhibition guide, which is available to purchase at the gift shop. Do you want to... So we say a thing on this podcast. We say, can you say what you see? So just describe what is in the image in front of you. Yeah, no wrong answers.
Okay. Well, looks like the main image, which has like words on it, It looks like a picture of a statue that's meant to kind of resembles a human, but just like with very like over with the wrong proportions. Like it looks like big mouth, big nose, and like very big eyes. Yes, that's the word. Thank you. I'm very tired. Exaggerated like features on it. And for some reason, like a lump on their head. I think that's what it's meant to be. Yeah, so a picture of like that sort of statue of a face that's been very exaggerated features. And then I assume what's the name of the exhibition, so but in German. Although the word that means art is in like quotation marks, and I don't know if that's the same as how in English when you use quotation marks and you're being a bit sassy and they're being like, it's not actually art. Is
scare
how
quotes.
I read that.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are correct. They are scare quotes.
Oh, I see.
So what does that kind of tell you about the show?
It's trying to show you things that it doesn't think is art or isn't. Shouldn't be perceived as art either because they think it's ugly, or I guess it's called like the
Degenerate.
The Degenerate. I feel like that's a word. I feel like it makes it seem as if it's like things that people shouldn't consider beautiful, maybe, or as artwork. Yeah.
So the sculpture that's featured on the cover is going to speak German again. Der New Mensch. The New Man.
New People. A New Man, yeah.
The New Man by Otto Freundlich. And we are going to talk about the sculpture later on. I think as a piece of graphic design, it's certainly communicating. The word art is in scare quotations, as we said, but it's also written in crayon.
Yeah, I was about to say, it kind of looks like they're trying to make it out like a child has done it.
Yes, yeah. And it's kind of collaged on as well, in a way that is kind of reminiscent of art from that period, which the collage and found media was like a big part of modernist art movements in the early 20th century.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, it also is like, because I feel like kids like to do collages, and I thought, oh, is it going to be another sort of like...
I mean, that's part of it. Like there is a rediscovering the creativity of a child is a big part of the art movements that got included in this show. The other typefaces are kind of interesting. Like there's kind of a classic like title font that you would see for the title of anything, like a film or a play or something. And then there's an example of a black letter typeface, which is like a very typical Germanic typeface. It's kind of used for most professional or official documentation. And that is for the word at the bottom, Ausstellungsführer.
Yeah, I can't tell, like, so I'm like, I see the Aus, and if I was going to assume what the rest of the word is, I would have assumed the rest of the word is Stellung, and that's meant to be an S, but it doesn't look like an S. Like, I can't work, I don't know if I'm just being stupid, but I don't know what letter that is after the AUS. Is it meant to be another S?
German is not my area, but I'm assuming it's another letter that I have no idea, Issy.
Sos. Just like, it's annoying me because I'm like, what is that? What are you?
You tell me, you got German A level.
Well, my thing is because I was like, oh, it could they have like, I don't remember what the word for it is, but it's like this letter that looks like a capital B, but it's not a capital B, which is meant to represent like 2 S's, but they've written the other S. So I'm like, because because I'm fairly sure Ausstellung is exhibition.
Yeah.
But then I can't remember enough German to be like, is there any other words that are similar to that? So I'll just something like that. Or does it just make sense because there's no other letter that fits there that would make a word that would look like a German word, if that makes sense. So who knows?
I think
not that it's relevant, but
we should assume that they knew what they were doing. It's us. We're the ones that are the problem.
You mean my German A-level doesn't qualify me to be, fluent in German and know everything about Germany?
Okay, let's move on. Okay.
Sorry. Is this the man?
This is a man. The exhibition was directed by Adolf Ziegler. Ziegler was a German painter and politician. He was famously Hitler's favorite painter. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him because, unfortunately, we need the context.
Yeah. I have a quick question.
Yeah, please.
You said Adolf Ziegler.
Mm-hmm.
But on the slide it says Alfred Ziegler. Did he change his name, or does he have multiple names?
What's more likely is that I have been a victim of autocorrect.
No.
Yeah, I have. It's Adolf.
Okay, because I was like, did he just? I don't know how long this man lives for and what he makes it through, but did he decide Adolf is not a good name anymore?
I could have done the work for him.
Yeah. I'm Alfred now.
Listen, if my name was Adolf in the 30s, I'm changing my name.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you about this guy.
Yeah, tell me about this man.
Adolf Ziegler was born in Bremen in 1892. He studied at the Academy of Fine Arts in Munich. During his studies, Ziegler was attracted to modern art, in particular Expressionism and the work of Franz Marc. This is the work from Franz Marc. Franz is a really France, first name terms.
I'm really sorry. I got really confused at first because I thought it was only 2 horses, but one of the horses just had the juiciest butt. And I was like...
He's a wide ass.
I was like, damn. That horse is thick.
They are thick horses, but there were 3 of them.
Thick, but... Yeah,
there are 3 of them.
I am now seeing
and
where I've made a mistake.
It's a beautiful painting, is it?
So sorry. I really like it. It just made me, my brain was like, wait, that is another horse.
No, I can see how you could see that. Listen, horses are very hard to draw.
I get it.
I can tell you a little bit about the artist. Franz Marc is a very interesting fellow. Apparently, when he was born, he was so ugly that his dad fainted. But I saw pictures of him as an adult, and I was like, oh, he's quite handsome. He's a handsome guy.
But all babies are ugly when they first come out because they're all squished up and wrinkly. Maybe the dad just didn't know what to expect.
I mean, he was ugly enough that it was like on the biography of his like official estate website.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine that being what you're known for. Born ugly. Oh,
it's not, I mean, it's not the only thing he's known for.
But I feel like most people look at things chronologically, right?
Yeah.
And if the first thing it's always just like, he came out a bit ugly. But then he did lots of beautiful artwork. Or imagine maybe not beautiful artwork, or I don't know what he's about to go do.
That's the thing. You're going to have to like hedge your bets on, is this guy going to be cool or is he going to be a Nazi?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Franz Marc had a very short career as an artist. He worked from the period of 1907 to 1913. Take a wild guess what happened to him in 1914.
Was that just a little Little war or
a little
something.
scuffle on the Eastern Front.
Yeah, a little kerfuffle over there.
So in 1914, Mark volunteered to join the war effort. He was killed in Verdun at just 27 years old. Adolf Ziegler, not Alfred, was
Not yet.
was a really big admirer of Mark. But I've got a sick burn from a museum director called Alois Schott. He said that Ziegler's own artwork at this point of his life was that of an extreme modern painter, but of inferior quality.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah, interestingly, none of Ziegler's work from his modern period survives. I like to think that he heard that this director said it about him and just took all his shit into the back garden and burnt it in a bonfire.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining.
And then he thought, damn, we should do this with books in 20 years.
Yeah. Oops.
Oops. So, in this story that I'm telling you, Issy, two things need to be stressed. Firstly, everybody knows everyone. This is there's a large number of artists involved, but it's sort of like a school where everybody kind of knows of each other. Are a group of artists who are studying and socializing in the same places. They're moving in the same circles, which kind of makes what happens even more of a betrayal, I guess. Secondly, the First World War haunts the narrative. Everybody's traumatized. Understandably, everyone's really traumatized by the First World War, and everything that people choose to do from 1914 onwards is in some way influenced by the war. So after the First World War, Ziegler attended classes by Angelo Jank. Jank was a painter and illustrator. He painted animals, mostly horses. So he's basically
some more horses.
Yeah, he's me at 13 years old. I don't necessarily believe that Jank radicalized Ziegler, although the difference in style is really stark between Mark and Jank, and it kind of lends itself to the narrative that he started at this expressionist painter and then was influenced by this kind of old school style painter of the same subjects. They both painted loads of horses, but it's more complicated than that. Jank was a member of the Munich Succession, a group that was later dissolved under the Gleichschaltung. No, that wasn't even close. Gleichschaltung. Help me.
Is it? Spell it out for me.
Gleich. Gleich.
Yeah.
Schaltung.
Is it got a T in the middle? Schaltung.
Yeah.
No, it's not too bad. If you say E and an I in German, you ignore the E and you say it as if it's an I normally. And then if it's the other way around and it's IE, it's normally like an E sound.
Okay.
So it was not. That's a pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay. Thank
if
you.
I'm remembering right, I'm scared that I'm I don't actually know what I'm talking about. So who knows? It's been 10 years.
Who knows? So Gleichschaltung means bringing into line, and was part of the artistic and cultural oppression undertaken by Nazi Germany. So the movement the club essentially that he was a part of was dissolved as a part of that. Having said that, he clearly wasn't anti-Nazi. Jank would compete in painting for the Berlin 1936 Olympics. And yeah, painting as an Olympic sport will be a future episode, of course, because
painting was an Olympic sport.
Yeah, and sculpture.
Sculpture I could maybe... Actually, no, I could...
Sculpture is like an extreme sport. It's very funny.
I can maybe see that though. I feel like depending on the size, how quickly you got to do it.
If you think about it, like we
see
still
that.
do have like artistic expression as Olympic sports, like dressage. I mean, last year we had the dancing, the break dancing.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It's like, you know, the category within gymnastics, that's the ribbons.
Yes, yes. When they get a little prop. I like the ones who use the ball. That's
Yes.
very fun to me.
Yes. I was like, you see all the other people flipping, doing this crazy stuff, and then some people just like, wee.
I'm going to ponder the orb for 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah. And that's what he was doing.
So as an example of the entanglements I mentioned earlier, it's believed that Yank actually fathered an illegitimate child with the artist Mary Schnur in 1906. And to cover this illegitimacy and gain custody of a child, Schnur married, wait for it, Franz Marc.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's interesting.
This is what I mean, where like everyone does know each other, and some of them are being father figures to someone else's kid.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Back to Ziegler. Ziegler joined the Nazi Party in 1920. He became a friend of Hitler. He was influenced by the ideas of Paul Schultz-Naumburg, who had very strong opinions about how women were represented in modern art, which is something we'll talk about more later. Paul Schultz-Naumburg published a book called Art and Race. And this is how he viewed modernist painting. As you can see, he's drawing a comparison between disabled people, what the Nazis would call Lebensunwert, people, life unworthy of life.
Lebensunwert, yeah.
And he's drawing a comparison between these disabled people and these portraits done by modernist painters, and the idea is that by painting people in this way, they're making life unworthy of life more acceptable. Essentially, the polar opposite of like representation politics.
Yeah, that's mad.
Mad. Yeah, this is a spread from his book that he published. Yeah. So by the 1930s, Ziegler was a professor at the Munich Academy. His work represented the Nazi ideals of racial purity, patriarchy, and nationalistic pride, as demonstrated here by his painting, The Four Elements. So Issy, would you like to say what you could see?
Well, I see 4 naked women.
Yeah.
What they all got. Noticeably, all white women with light brown or blonde hair.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do they all have blue eyes too? Can't tell.
I believe they do. Yes.
Yeah. Wonder where that idea is coming from. And I feel like one of them's holding fire. She's got a nice little red, I was going to call it a blanket, but it's probably not a blanket, like bit of silky material. Next one along, she's got a bowl of water. It looks like it's in a dog bowl though. That's a bit, I don't know what that's about, but that's fine. She's got green bit of silk. Although they do like dogs, so. And then we've got another person. She's holding some wheat, barley, something.
Some wheat.
Grains. Some wheat. She's got a nice little white bit of silky cloth. We've got another person, and I don't think she's holding anything. But she does have maybe she's got a breeze going through her hair. I don't know.
Yes,
That's the vibe I've got him. That's the vibe I've got. Is that her little flow on the right hand side of her hair? It's meant to represent the breeze blowing. Yeah, but also, it's also just weird because it's like, are they just sitting on is this just a really fancy marble bench? But I assume they're meant to represent 4 elements. But I was like, fire, water, wind. I guess earth is what the food is. Yes,
yeah. That's right.
Look at me. Big brain.
Big brain. So, one thing to know about this series of paintings is it's a triptych, which means there's 3 of them, which is more commonly seen in religious and Renaissance artwork. The figures are like, you're right, they're in this weird space of like, is this someone's like hallway? Or is this a kind of higher plane? Or what's going on here?
It could even almost be like a weird balcony because of the blue behind them. It's like, it could be the sky, but I think it'd be a bit weird. It's also interesting what people they've decided to put together. Because I feel like, sort of like, especially with the representation of like the plant, like the wheat as for earth. Because I kind of feel like, I guess they need each other, water and earth. But
yeah, that's really... And then you have like the fire is sort of shielding her flame from
the wind,
the wheat. One of the things that comes across from this quite starkly is that this is a very racialized portrait of women. This is... I mean, it's not subtle, is it?
No.
Like, it's making these allegories in terms of like their bodies and the ways that are the ways that they're posed to kind of classical paintings or even Renaissance paintings and sculpture as well. But their faces are very 1920s, 1930s Germany.
Yeah, it's very weird to look at because it almost feels like it doesn't, all the pieces of the like artwork doesn't fit together. It's like even like the face with the bodies just don't necessarily match, or like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is usually because the artist has painted this from their own reference. So he's done a series of life drawing sessions with different models, or maybe even the same model, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then stuck different heads onto the different bodies. One of the things about the Nazis is that they fucking loved classicism. They loved the Renaissance. They loved Roman artwork and imagery, but they didn't really understand it.
What are like the key features of those things? Like, can you see them within this? Just obviously,
they're nude
lots
for a
about
start.
art.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They're naked. The ways that they are posed is kind of, there's this thing called contrapposto, which is essentially your upper half of your body is moving in a different direction to your bottom half, and it creates these kind of dynamic poses.
I was about to say, one of the things I was like, they all look like they're in very unnatural poses. Yeah. You would be sitting, like, no one wants to sit like that.
So, like, it can work really well. I mean, and it did in kind of Roman classical artwork or Greek classical artwork, because it was in contrast to archaic art, which was very sort of like, people look like they're built bit by bit on a stick almost, like feet, leg, body, head, like everything's very straight and everything's symmetrical. So when you're sort of contrasting that with like movement, and you've got feet that are kind of pointing away from the hips, and the shoulders are going in the opposite direction. It's very dynamic, and what it does in a painting is it moves your eye towards different parts of the canvas. So like if you notice the women on either side frame the women in the middle, they both are kind of leaning in, but their legs are leaning out, creates this sort of like triangle. It's this idea of like the people in the artwork not being, it's not portraiture, it's they represent an element, or they are gods or goddesses. They're not real people, if that makes sense. They're idealized or personified. So and of course, like the Olympics happening in Berlin, so close to when this painting was made, like there was such, in Nazi Germany, there was such a artistic and cultural focus on the body and the kind of the health of a body as well.
Yeah.
One thing I'd say about them is like their skin is like incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
Like it's almost sort of photographic in a way.
Yeah, I think that's what is kind of throwing me off, is that it almost looks too real.
Yes.
Like I don't know if this is really weird, but the knees, I'm drawn to their knees. All their knees look really, really knee. Like they've got their knobbles.
Yes, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And it's too
much.
It's too much. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. This kind of like rendering is supposed to be it's almost a response to expressionistic or impressionistic painting, where you see the brushstroke, like you could see the hand of the artist in the painting. So with this, the idea is that like the artist becomes almost like invisible in the painting, but it just makes it feel really weird, and it sits in that like uncanny valley of like,
'cause
what am I looking at?
the one that throws me off the most is the water lady with her dog bowl, because I feel like, because I think all the other ones I feel like, because she's got very like pink tone to her skin, while I feel like everyone else has got this sort of like yellowy sort of, I'll say grey. sound like they're all jaundiced. Everyone else is jaundiced, while she is like, she's quite like pink and a bit more vibrant, and like she just doesn't look like she's meant to be there. Like even like how she's like like the line of her shoulder, like, and down her arm that covers up the woman behind her.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. It almost looks like a weird Photoshop. Obviously, but it's not. But it looks like someone's just stuck her in.
It feels collaged together, but it's not.
Yes.
It's sort of and the part of it is limitations of the artist's skill. There are some weird choices. I think like the choice of representing the flame in the way that he has is really odd. It doesn't really work very well, because there's no light coming from the flame. So the side of her face that is closest to it is in shadow, which makes
also,
it
like Loki, where her hand is, I feel like she'd just be burning herself.
Yes, particularly if there is, as is suggested by the hair on the fourth element, if there's a breeze.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to think that these elements are sort of occupying the same space. It doesn't work.
No. But I see what you mean. Sorry. This is the ADHD brain coming
please.
in. I was like, I see what you mean, though, about the shadow on her face. Why is there a shadow on her face?
It should be there. It should be darker than the other side of her face, but there should be orange or something. If you're going to use an orange flame, there should be...
Yeah.
What else do I have to tell you about this painting? Hitler loved it. It was in his bedroom for a while. Yeah. Oh, one of the things that kind of sets it apart from classical painting is that they have pubes. They've got pubic hair.
That's true.
And that was one of the reasons why people kind of reacted quite strongly to this painting. They associated pubic hair with pornography. Which is like funny, like how times
and
change.
Hitler went, I want that in my room.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
He actually
also, it's not like it's aggressive. I feel like it's very minimal pubage going on. To think that that's like, oh, it's pornographic. It's like
I think that's maybe what's
on.
pornographic about it, is that it's kind of like tasteful pubic hair.
Oh, I see.
It's groomed. So Zico painted a lot of nudes, and to the point where he was actually nicknamed Meister der deutschen Schamhaars, Master of German pubic hair.
I see. Shockingly, pubic hair was not a word I learned in my German exam.
Did it come up in your oral exam?
Actually, that reminds me of a story, but it's probably not appropriate.
Go on.
Once in one of my German lessons, we were going to do a little Kahoot, as you do, because that's the most exciting thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's like flashcards.
Kahoot's the one where like there's questions and it's almost like you have to click the right answer, but it's a competition, so you'll have a leaderboard at the end and it's fun.
Oh, I didn't do fun things at my school.
No, yes, because you went to a school that wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer, and then here you are.
Yeah. Recording a podcast in my parents' attic.
Yep. But,
right, you played Kahoot.
Yeah. Playing Kahoot. And he just clicked the one at the top, thinking it'd be fine. And someone had done this, you know when you like sponsor like a website so it goes to the top. Someone had done that and then linked it to like a porn website, and it came up and it was just an image of this woman with her legs nude, as you can imagine, completely spread, and he just screamed. Luckily this was our A-level class, so it was literally just me and my friend. And we just started laughing, and he was so horrified, especially because he was also a gay man, and he was like, I've never wanted to see that, and especially not in this setting. It's just reminded me of that and that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, moving on.
It's fine. Spent so long on this painting. Oh no.
So sorry.
What do I want to say about it? The kind of like the way that the elements are represented is very unimaginative. It's like fire.
Yeah.
She's got a torch. And I guess like in terms of like if you want to place it in Nazi ideology, fire is obviously associated with how the Nazis demonstrated power. But burnings, rallies with torches. Do you remember when those Nazis met up in Charlottesville, I think, in America, and they brought tiki torches?
I do not, but please tell me.
A bunch of Nazis got together and they wanted to kind of to remind people of like the scary Nazis from the 30s who would carry torches and stuff, but they basically just went to like the local garden centre and bought tiki torches.
That's not very threatening.
No, and it's like quite, they're quite safe. And
yeah, I'm
going to assume scented as well. Anyway, this painting was made today. She'd have a tiki torch.
Yeah.
The water, it's a bowl with water in it. Well done. The wheat sheaf is kind of interesting because the wheat sheaf was like a symbol that was seen in a lot of Nazi propaganda. The whole ideology of blood and soil. and this like upholding of the farmer and the peasant as being like the closest to the land of Germany and like the most Germanic thing that you can be. I honestly think he got to air and he gave up and was like, shit, man, there's like, the air's blowing.
Yeah. I feel like the only other thing he could have done to match his other unimaginative ideas is like given her a fan. That's about it.
So Ziegler was the president of the Reich Chamber for the Visual Arts. His task was to eliminate avant-garde styles. So letters like this one were sent out to artists who failed to meet the Nazi standard. They were forbidden from partaking in any artistic endeavour, professional or amateur, so you weren't even allowed to do any drawing for yourself. Ziegler's relationship with Hitler was close. Hitler famously did not get into art school, and I promise I will do an episode about Hitler's art in the future because he's a terrible artist. Ziegler is a much more accomplished artist, so I think there was a dynamic of Hitler being like, do you like the painting that I've done? And Ziegler's like, what the hell is wrong with that deer's head?
Yeah, why is it like it's coughing out a tissue? And why is his trees all naked over there?
He's so bad at it. During the 1930s, Ziegler was a part of a commission that toured state collections across the Reich and seized any artwork they deemed degenerate. Over 16,000 pieces were taken, and these would make up the content of the Degenerate Art Exhibition. So, at the same time as the Degenerate Art Exhibition, a show exhibiting great German art was held in walking distance. So you could go and look at some good art and then go look at some bad art, or vice versa. This was at Haus der Deutschen Kunst, the House of German Art. And I think the thing that I want to point out the most is the difference in curation. The respect and space given to these artworks versus the artworks in the Degenerate Art Exhibition is quite stark. Yeah.
This looks like an actual art exhibition.
Yes, yeah, it doesn't look like, I mean this with love, a student show.
Yeah. Ouch. Damn. Holly's throwing shade.
Hitler spoke at the opening of this show. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love that I'm gonna say Hitler's speeches and that's gonna be on the internet for a bit. Forever, maybe? Who knows?
The internet is forever.
Yeah, but it's fine. I think it's important to hear how explicit the Nazis were. And so, you know, anyone who tells you that they had good points or were misunderstood hasn't heard this guy speak. Also, 8 pages for the opening of an exhibition.
That's way too long.
I read all of it. It was a mistake.
I felt yeah.
Okay, but I'm going to read you some quotes from it. Cubism, Dadaism, Futurism, Impressionism, and so on have nothing to do with our German people. For all of these terms are neither old nor modern, but are simply the stilted stammering of the people to whom God has denied real artistic talent, and has given instead the gift of blather and deception. I therefore wish to affirm in this hour my immutable resolve to do for German artistic life what I've done in the area of political confusion, to purge it of empty phrases. Works of art that cannot be understood on their own, but rather require a pompous user manual to justify their existence, in order to finally find that intimidated person who will patiently accept such foolish or impudent nonsense. Such artworks will no longer find their way to the German people. It's kind of a lot.
It's crazy. Because it's essentially saying that only he can deem worthy what is good and bad art, when it's literally like the whole point of art is it's meant to make you think. You're not, everyone's not going to love it. Everyone's,
He's annoyed by the fact that the work makes him think.
Yeah. It always comes across as if he's annoyed that he can't understand it. Like he doesn't get it. So he's like, it can't be good because I don't understand what's going on here.
The lack of self-awareness is quite astounding. And I think it's something that you see in fascists quite commonly. One of the things that I got from this was like, there's a kind of saying about narcissists or abusers that like every accusation is a confession. So if your narcissistic ex accuses you of cheating, they probably cheated on you.
So Hitler's saying that this artwork is not very good.
When he says,
what did he say at the beginning?
He said, these artworks are simply the stilted stammering of people to whom God has denied real artistic talent and has instead given them the gift of blather and deception. Like, I'm sorry.
When you read that out, my brain just went, hypocrite. But I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. He goes on and he's talking about, in this bit, he's talking about the kind of artist that he wants to exhibit. But an artist who expects to be exhibited in this house or to make any public appearance in Germany in the future must possess skill. Surely intent is self-evident to begin with. For it would be the very pinnacle of everything if a person were to annoy his fellow citizens with work whereby he actually intended nothing at all. But when these blowhards now try to make their works palatable by presenting them as the expression of a new time, one can only tell them that art does not create new times, but rather that the overall life of nations remakes itself and therefore frequently seeks a new expression. Yet those who have been talking about new art in Germany over the last few decades have certainly not understood the new German times. It is not men of letters who are the creators of a new era, but the fighters, those who are truly creative, who lead their people and thus make history. But those pitiful, confused dabblers and scribblers will hardly count themselves among them. Moreover, it is either brazen impudence or mystifying stupidity to present in our day and age works that would have been made 10 or 20,000 years ago by someone from the Stone Age.
He's got a lot of unnecessary rage about artwork.
It's because he got rejected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also because he's not good. He's not a good painter, and he's annoyed, and he has such a strange belief about his own abilities. Then he talks a bit about like the ideal man and the Olympics. This type of man whom we beheld just last year at the Olympic Games, as he appeared before the whole world in his radiant, proud physical strength and health. This type of man, I say to you, Mr. Prehistoric Art Stammerers, is the type of the new age. And what are you making? Deformed cripples and cretins, women who can only have a repulsive effect, men who are closer to animals than humans, children who, if they had to live this way, would have to be seen as the veritable curse of God. And this is what these cruel dilettantes dare to present to our world today as the art of our time, namely as the expression of what is shaping this age and imprinting its stamp on it. He doesn't understand art.
Yeah.
He's offended that children and women and soldiers and things are being presented in ways that are unflattering, and it's like, I don't know, dude, like, don't look. Like, just turn around.
It's also just so weird because it's essentially like, stop like showing these things, they're so horrible, and it's like, it's just what is happening around you. Like, if you interacted with society, you would see that not every woman is perfectly beautiful. And like, you know, there's people with lots of different like looks and like
disabled people exist.
Yes. Like disabled people exist.
There were ugly babies, famously.
Yes. Yes.
Franz Marc.
Ugly babies. But it's just
the whole like art stammerers thing is a reference to Dada, which was an art movement.
Or what that?
So Dada was like it was an art movement, and it was all it's all about nonsense and just creating for the sake of creating. It's very playful. They would write poetry that essentially sounds like jazz scat. Like do 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 dee dee.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the thing about Dada is it's really funny, and if you try to take it seriously, then it doesn't work. And you'll be annoyed.
Too serious.
Yeah. I have one last quote for you from this speech, and this is about the mental cleanliness of the degenerate artists.
Oh dear.
Yeah. There really are men who see the shapes of our people today only as degenerate cretins who fundamentally sense, or as they might say, experience, meadows as blue, the sky as green, clouds as sulfur yellow, and so on. I do not wish to get into an argument over whether or not these individuals truly see and sense it that way. In the name of the German people, I merely want to prohibit these pitiful unfortunates whose eyesight is clearly suffering from trying to coercively con their fellow humans into accepting the results of their misconceptions as reality, let alone presenting it to them as, in air quotations, art. He then talks about like how if they have if they're making this work where the sky is green and the meadows are blue, if they're making it because they have bad eyesight, then it's then that means that they should be removed from the gene pool.
But wasn't Hitler colourblind, or am I misremembering this?
I don't think he was colourblind.
Oh.
Google it.
I was about to be like, I swear Hitler's colourblind. What is he on about? Was Hitler colourblind? Let's find out, everyone. What hair can I trust? Why does every website have to have cookies, and why do it seems unclear. Apparently there have been basically it seems as if possibly Hitler possibly had issues with his eyesight, but different things. Sorry, I'm going down my own little rabbit hole over here. Basically, apparently it's like Hitler's hysterical blindness, fact or fiction, on PubMed, and I'm just very bamboozled.
Oh, this is when basically he was shelled during the First World War, and he went blind, but it was a psychological blindness.
Yeah,
his eyes weren't damaged. He was just so traumatized by the bombing that he went blind.
Yeah. There's some random things, not untrustworthy sources say that people think he was colourblind. So
I can't stop thinking about whether he actually thought the Nazi flags were green.
Maybe this whole time.
So yes, he goes on to say in that speech that if these artists, they either have bad eyesight and therefore should be removed from the gene pool, or they're doing it on purpose, and in that case, they should be in jail.
Oh, that's quite extreme. Shock.
Yeah. Now, it's not really the point, but I think now is a good time to mention that the Degenerate Art Show was much more popular than the House of German Art Exhibition. House of German Art Exhibition, it did well. I'm not like, it did good. 600,000 people visited it. Yeah. Degenerate Art, 3 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that I think is like contributes to that though. It's like if you tell people, it's like you're essentially trying to tell people what they should think is good, like artwork or bad artwork. People are always going to be way more interested in the stuff that they shouldn't like. It's like I always feel like it's weird when like people try to do stuff like that. It's like this is what you shouldn't be, but that's so much more interesting.
It's like banning books. It just makes me want to read the book. So, what we're going to do now is a fun little exercise of looking at a piece from the exhibition and comparing it to a piece either from the German art exhibition or from Hitler's favourite artists. They were actually all on a list called God's Gifted Artists.
Did he put himself on there?
No.
That's also, I was going to ask, was like, was any of Hitler's artwork in the gallery that was considered the good artwork? No. Didn't make the cut?
No. Again. This is The New Man by the Jewish artist Otto Freundlich. It was on the exhibition cover that we talked about, and also displayed in the lobby of the exhibition. So it was one of the first things that people would have seen when they came into the show. It was just over about 4 foot tall. It was made from plaster. And the work is in this primitive style. It clearly takes inspiration from tribal art, in particular the Maui head sculptures on Rapa Nui or Easter Island, if you're a colonizer. So one of the things that we have to ask ourselves is, why might the Nazis not like primitivism? It's racism. Like, yeah. Which seems to be like a recurring theme on this show. Of just like, by the way, it's racism.
Everyone's racist.
Basically, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So this was actually displayed. So it was displayed in the lobby, and then you know how I said there were slogans written on the wall? Mm-hmm. It was near one that I'm going to have to censor myself whilst I say this, but one of the slogans on the wall said, "The Jewish longing for the wilderness reveals itself. In Germany, the N-word becomes the racial ideal of degenerate art." Ah!
Oh my lord. I was gonna ask, I was like, is there gonna be a theme with the artwork that it's all gonna try and represent a certain race or certain people?
So yeah, the artwork in the Degenerate show was curated by theme. But they actually kind of gave up on that by like room 5. There's like 7 rooms, and by the end of it, it was sort of just like the other stuff. So primitivism was like one of the rooms. A lot of artists in this time period were influenced by tribal art because it was becoming accessible. And there was also this, I think, maybe naive or misconceived idea of like, in order to become freer people, freer artists, we should return to kind of our baser selves and therefore create tribal art, which is quite like, that's quite racist. you know, like to be like, oh, I wish I was as free and simple as these people. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, they're actually like really skilled craftsmen.
Yeah.
And you sort of just like copying it to make your own stuff is, you know, it's a lot. But the reason the Nazis disliked it is not the same as that. They have this weird way of viewing art where it's like it has to be like idealistic. You should look at the art and think that's what I want to be, and they couldn't understand how anyone could look at something like this representation of a person and go, yeah, I want to be that. It's sort of like, well, it's not how you look at art.
No. It's just weird. My brain's just gone. It's like, essentially, they only want inspo pictures.
Yes. Yes. And you know, I think it's like really, I think the right now has the same issue where they only want media that represents themselves positively. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be challenged. Yes. They don't want to, you know, it's why like so many people freak out if there's like a lesbian in a video game.
Yeah. Because
they view it as like aspirational and they're like, I don't want to be a woman. Not a gay one.
Yeah.
Like
don't make me gay. Oh no.
So this sculpture is actually missing. It could turn up, but most likely
when did it go missing?
During the war years. Yeah, most likely it was destroyed by the Nazis, but it could have been accidentally destroyed by bombing. Yeah, a lot of this artwork sort of disappears for a while.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Otto Freudlich, because his story is quite sad but interesting. So Freudlich spent the war years in France, but he was eventually captured and taken to a Majdanek extermination camp, and he was murdered on the day of his arrival on the 9th of March, 1943. No fun.
No fun.
No. So, in contrast to Freudlich's work, we have this sculpture.
Oh,
do you want to?
Very different.
Yeah. Do you want to say why you think it's different?
Well, I feel like the other one is very much like, well, one was just a head, and it was very much like minimal detail, extreme, exaggerated features. That's the word I'm thinking of. This is very much more realistic, although this person's very muscular. Yeah. They've been working out as well. It just says the great torchbearer, so maybe it's an Olympian of some form. But yeah, but it's a bit more, I feel like it's more like it's going to say like a traditional statue. I don't know if that makes sense, but like
no, I know what you mean.
Like a Greek statue.
Yeah, like a classical statue.
Yeah, that was the phrasing. Thank you.
Yeah,
but it's weird because he's got a buzz cut.
Yes. Hair's difficult.
I think it just looks really odd because I feel like, again, most of the time when I see like statues like this, I think of like classical statues, and that's just not. It's just not the hairstyle. You expect to be on top of the head.
No, he needs his like nice curls.
Yeah.
So this is by Arno Brücker, and he was an official state sculptor, so his work kind of dotted all over Nazi Germany, particularly around official buildings. Interestingly, like he had previously had his work denounced as degenerate during the like 1920s, but he ended up on the Gott bin Gnadstaten list. No, Got my Ninata did it. No. The God-gifted artist
words are
list.
hard.
Yes, they are very hard. It's very long.
Yeah, it's because most of their words are just other words they've shoved all together, so then they end up being a sentence, but it's actually a word. One word.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you pointed out, it is this kind of neoclassical style. So it's like a modern take on the classical sculpture. Interestingly, some people have said that it's like a mannerist style, which is something I discussed in the last episode that released or will release. We're in a time machine right now.
About to be like, I don't know what that means.
Yes, it's basically just like it's like exaggerated. I guess we called it like a Renaissance painting that's in a funhouse mirror. Everything's really long and it's like really expressionist. Not expressionist though in terms of the painting styles. That's a confusing way to say that. The manners are exaggerated, essentially.
Yeah.
So Brecker is a really interesting one. He knew many of the modernist artists targeted by Nazism, including Jean Cocteau of Dada fame. His defenders claimed that he was merely a patron of the Nazis. He was just getting paid to do a job. Most of his work was destroyed during post-war denazification, so because he mostly made public art in that process post-war where they were trying to I was going to say cleanse. That's not the best verb to use in regards to the Nazis.
No. Maybe rephrase that one.
But most of his work was taken down and destroyed. And to that I say, good.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if it's one of those things of, as obviously with the way he phrased it, it's like, or you're just trying to keep yourself safe. But I also feel like there's a lot of people that probably like, oh no, I didn't agree with what they were doing or saying. I was just being paid and I was just there and
I was just taking orders.
No. Yeah, just taking orders. But
it's like, yeah, but you did a lot.
Yeah.
After the war, annoyingly, he maintained a somewhat successful career in West Germany. Even Joseph Stalin wanted to commission him for a sculpture. And he famously said something along the lines of, "No thank you, one dictator in a lifetime is enough for me." Ha ha ha.
He's got the jokes.
It's very funny after branding a genocide. Let's move on. We've looked at some portraits, sculptures, the neoclassical style versus the primitive style. Let's have a look at a representation of a group of people very near and dear to the Nazi heart. Do you want to say what you could see in this painting? And I apologise that it's in black and white. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Alrighty. Well, it's different. It's like 4 different people. They all look like men, so I'm going to assume they're all men. Mm-hmm. And they've all got some, like either a walking stick, wheelchair. It seems like essentially, and they all got very, I feel like what you would almost be like grotesque features. Like they don't look like how they don't look. You wouldn't look at them and be like, oh, that's meant to be a beautiful face. It looks like they're purposely sort
exaggerated
of made to look ugly. Yeah, exaggerated, and they all look quite freaky. Mm-hmm. I'm also trying to work out if they're meant to look like specific people. I think so, because I was like, low-key, the one in the front kind of looks a bit like a weird looking Hitler. I don't know, but again, I might be wrong.
I think it's a coincidence because it was the paintings from 1920. I mean, he was like...
Oh, that's very true.
He was a public figure, but it's kind of uncanny.
Not much then.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's because the way that he styled himself was to look like a soldier. His haircut, his moustache, the clothes that he wore. It almost doesn't matter really like what his actual face looked like. He wore the sort of the semiotic signifiers of a soldier.
Which is also, I guess, another thing. They all look like they're in uniform. Mm-hmm. It also is like the same thing you mentioned before of the like, what's the phrasing? Like it's always looks like collage-esque. Like some of the faces that they've been like put together with things that are like different pictures and assembled together.
But this feels like a doing that on purpose, not just sort of doing that because you're maybe a subpar painter. It looks like it's on purpose. It kind of also, again, maybe because with the context that you've given me, it also kind of comes across like it's meant to purposely make these people look bad as well. Let me tell you about it. So this is War Cripples by Otto Dieks. Dieks was a veteran. He survived the Somme, so wasn't doing great mentally.
No, imagine not.
As a person, he was severely affected by his experience and injuries. I think probably today he would be diagnosed with PTSD. He frequently complained of like nightmares and hallucinations and things like that. He was a prolific painter during the Weimar period, that period between Nazi Germany and the First World War, and was kind of critical of like I guess we call it like the class divide, you know, like you have these soldiers who are disabled and suffering, and then there is this like excess and also like buzzing art and culture scene, and these sort of, it's interesting because he kind of exists between those two spaces. His work, this piece was displayed in the Degenerate show, and it had the slogans next to it that said, "This is a deliberate sabotage of national defense and an insult to the German heroes."
Oh.
Yeah. This was he was a degenerate before it was cool, kind of. His work was really criticized throughout the 1920s. He was, every time he sort of produced a piece of work, there was backlash to it, mostly for kind of being critical of the German veterans from the First World War. And despite, you know, like, he's one of them. But I think the kind of the wounding of the national pride was to such an extent that like any depiction of them as anything other than like brave heroes was viewed as like really insulting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the sort of impact of this is meant to be, but it kind of comes across as almost like especially when it's like, you know, he's also a veteran himself. It's like these people all look messed up and they don't look quite right, and it's probably just exactly how he was feeling. It's like especially because I feel like most of their features that are the most, I mean, obviously like they've got walking sticks and wheelchairs and things, but that to show that like they've been disabled by the war. But I feel like their facial features are the things that look like weird and not right.
Almost comical.
Like, I imagine a lot. Yeah. And it's like, I imagine it's almost like a lot of people who have lived through wars. And I imagine if you've lived through a war like World War One, you would be pretty messed up in the head.
Yeah. I forgot to say that the alternative title for this piece is 4 of them don't add up to a whole man.
Oh.
Which is kind of saying, like, each of them is missing so much of themselves that, like, even if you combine them all together, they wouldn't make a whole person. So during the Second World War, he was still living and working in Germany, and he had to join the Reich Chamber of Fine Arts in order to keep working. And he had to join with the promise that he would only paint landscapes. They basically took his pen license away from him and were like, you're not allowed to draw people anymore because it's too creepy and we don't like it, and can you just do nice landscapes at least until the war's over? So that's what he did. And then in secret, he also painted works critical of the Nazis in his spare time. There's a fun little side quest that he went on. In 1939, he was arrested for plotting to kill Hitler.
Oh. I'll say, my man, you could have stopped so much.
Well, not by 1939.
Oh, that's true.
No. He could have. I mean, he could have stopped the war.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Strange guy. Understandably strange. This piece was burnt in one of the sort of Nazi burnings of stuff. Love a bonfire. And then the rest of his works were kind of scattered throughout Europe after the war. And most recently, like, quite a large number of his works were found in 2012 in the Gerlit collection, which was like a huge bounty of stolen Nazi artwork. There's like over 1,000 pieces found in this guy's like hoard.
Is this someone who has just been holding on to it? And
it's the son of someone who confiscated it.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see. Did this person that confiscated it die, and then the son is like,
inherited it?
Earth have I just inherited?
Well, I don't actually. I kind of was saving that story for myself because I think it might be a good episode at some point. But yeah, we'll see.
Is that also why this one? Because I remember you said at the beginning, there's a reason it's in black and white. Is it because it got destroyed, and this is like a recreation, or?
I saw a coloured version of it on Reddit, the most trustworthy source on the internet.
Of course.
And I don't know, something about it made me think, I feel like someone's just coloured this digitally. I don't think it's... so I just went with the black and white. So the question is, why did the Nazis hate this painting? I think the main Nazi criticisms were that the viewer is meant to see the soldiers as victims. They're weak, they're not of a healthy body or mind, and they're kind of antithetical to the Nazi ideal of masculinity. I think we should also ask, why would a warmongering nation not want to dwell on the horrors of war?
Yeah.
Maybe... Okay, let's look at some great German art.
This could not be more different to the previous form.
Yeah.
This is literally like we need you, come sign up now.
Yeah. So this is a painting by Eber that was shown in the Great German Art Show, and it, again, another one of Hitler's favorite artists. The soldier here is heroic. The title of the piece is The Last Hand Grenade. He's like, it's the last shot before the end of the battle or whatever, or like, it's like
my last chance to get this.
It's very Action Man. It's very like, I don't know, Hollywood
It could
version of warfare.
Yeah, I was actually like, it literally looked like it could be some form of like film poster for an action film. I was like, I could see it already, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
You know, just
or his dad,
ready to go.
famously.
Yeah.
So important thing to know about Eva is that he was a thug. He was post First World War, he was a member of various right-wing militia, and they were parts of anti-communist attacks in Bavaria in the 1910s, 1919. And then he joined the Brown Shirts, the SA, in 1921. And he became an illustrator for Nazi newspapers and propaganda. So this is painted by someone who is a true believer and also has definitely killed someone. So I wanted to show you this one, but I also wanted to make more of a direct comparison to this painting by Eva. This is called, in English, This Was the Essay. And it was painted a year after the Degenerate Art Exhibition. What do you see here? What kind of story is this painting telling?
I feel like, again, it's weird because I feel like the previous one was very much like heroic and all of that. And I feel like it always comes across like it's trying to show off, try to be like, look at us, we're heroic. But it also just kind of looks like people who want to be feared. It's really weird because there's no expression on the people. Like there's some expression in the people in the crowd. There's someone angry maybe at the back. But most people have just no expression. Like I feel like I'm finding it really hard to take in. Like
everyone's very stoic.
It almost feels very emotionless. Like I don't take anything from this.
I think, it's everyone has the same face, and I don't know what El Giba looks like, but I bet he looks like an uglier version of these soldiers.
I was actually like, it looks like clones. Like it looks really peculiar. Like it looks like weird AI art. I'm like, does someone have like an extra finger they're not meant to have?
A lot of the Nazi art feels like AI art to me. It has that weird, like, it's supposed to be naturalistic, but it's not natural. There is like this story being told in this illustration. So there's clearly been a fight because there's a soldier at the front, or a brown shirt at the front, who has a bandage around his head and all the way around head bandage. So clearly there's been some kind of fight or riot. You can see some graffiti in the background that says KPD, which is a reference to the German Communist Party. The guys who look angry are red shirts. Maybe we're supposed to read those as communists. And then there's this young boy who's like looking at the soldiers, and this young kid who looks like Lucas Bergvall.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
He plays for Tottenham. I'm sorry.
I don't know people. He also, it's weird, but I feel like he's trying to mimic them.
Yes. Yeah. It looks like he's looking at them thinking, I want to be like them when I grow up.
Was that meant to be a German accent?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I did Spanish, okay?
I had to choose German or Spanish, and I chose German, so I don't know.
I did Spanish, and now I speak French, so I don't know what happened. Room 3 of the exhibition was about women. Women as a concept.
I was about to say, I feel like we've gone back to the other exhibition.
We are back in the other exhibition.
was about to be very surprised if that was not the case.
Yes, we're back at the Degenerate Art Show. We've entered the third room, and the slogans on the wall read, "An insult to German womanhood. The prostitute is extolled as the moral ideal. And ideal cretin and whore."
Oh.
It's lovely. It's really nice.
Oh, wow.
So kind.
So it's like they're fully clothed.
This is Street by Ernst Ludwig Kirchner. I guess to us as modern viewers, this looks like a good time. Looks like, so ladies going out of town, there's some smartly dressed men, the streets are vibrant. So I think it's important to give some context of like why this was kind of controversial. The two women pictured are supposed to be sex workers. Mm-hmm. The indicators for that are their very extravagant hats, the feather coats, the way their sort of shoes and ankles are like kind of sexily coming out from underneath the dresses.
Oh, sexy ankle. Oh, wow.
And they have like heavy makeup on. Basically there's Kirchner is painting them in a positive light. He's he's a painter in the 1910s. Like, he hangs around with prostitutes. He definitely likes them as well. But the kind of way Nazis would look at them is like fallen women, sinful temptresses, with their purple coats. My God.
Not purple.
And I look at them and I'm like,
meant to be a royal colour.
They look like they're having a nice time.
Yeah.
So the painter is like, again, he's really interesting too. He was actually a Nazi sympathizer for way up until the end of the 1930s. But that didn't stop them labeling over 700 of his pieces as degenerate.
Oh.
Yeah, he actually had like 25 pieces in the Degenerate Art Exhibition.
They really didn't like it, huh?
Yeah, and it kind of just goes to show that like sucking up to the oppressor is not going to save you, dude.
No. That's the thing. Did he not get offended by this? Did he not have issues with that?
He did.
This has happened with his artwork.
He did. I have a quote from him. He wrote in his journals, "Here we have been hearing terrible rumours about torture of the Jews, but it's all surely untrue." Oh, no. Oh, God. "I'm a little tired and sad about the situation up there. There's war in the air. In the museums, the hard-won cultural achievements of the last 20 years are being destroyed. And yet the reason why we founded the Brucker," that's his collective, "was to encourage truly German art made in Germany. And now it's supposed to be un-German. Dear God, it does upset me." Dude. He's like so in denial about what's happening.
It's really making me think of like, what's that like comic of? I voted for the leopards eating my face party, and now leopards are eating my face.
I never thought leopards would eat my face.
Yeah, not my face.
I never thought my work would be un-Germanic. I'm a German after all. Like, it's... Yeah. What's really interesting about it is like the cognitive dissonance of like, he's hurt by the things that are happening to his artwork, and he's living... His reality is that his artwork is being purged or labelled as degenerate, and his colleagues and his contemporaries are like all experiencing the same thing. But like the rumours about the Jews
Can't be
too
real.
far. Too far. Like, that can't be
Yeah.
real. That can't be happening.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my dude, if they're banning your paintings, what do you think they're doing?
Yeah, literally. I find it something, because it's something of like, I feel like this always happens, and it happens today, but I feel like it's even crazier when it happens today, when people are like, no, but it can't be true, when it's like, it's so much easier to see what's going on in the world. Like, I could maybe have some more understanding that, like, you know, it's a lot harder to see things and view things and all of this stuff, as much as it's still a bit like, come on, my guy. But I feel like when there's stuff like this happens today, and literally like, but there's literally like a video of this happening, or like it's all of this, it's so, but people are just like, no, it's not real, it's not true. It's like, it's literally happening right in front of you.
It's like putting themselves into a place of what people call psychological safety, of like retreating to a safe place where none of this is happening and everything is fine.
Especially when I imagine it's like, I'm supporting these people who are actually doing horrendous things, so I can't believe they're doing horrendous things because I put them there.
Even when they're happening to himself, he can't quite he doesn't quite believe what they are telling him. Like, they're not, I read a whole bunch of Hitler's speech to you. It was very clear what was happening and why it was happening.
Yeah.
It wasn't hidden knowledge. But it's like, yeah, even if when it's happening to him, he's like annoyed by it, but it's sad, not scared, you know? Like, it's really interesting.
Yeah. It's also not even like he's disgusted by it. It's almost just like a, you know, almost just like a,
this is inconvenient.
How inconvenient that you've done this to me.
Yeah. So his, like, Kutcher's story it's really sad. I mean, like, so he's another First World War veteran, and he suffered a mental breakdown in, like, 1916, I think. And he had substance abuse disorder. He's an alcoholic. And so I think they're, like, I don't want to be too hard on the guy, you know? Like, clearly there's a lot going on with him.
He was going through things.
Yeah. And actually, like, after Germany annexed Austria in, I think, 1939, he actually killed himself.
Oh.
Because it all became real. And I think the trauma of having gone through the First World War, he was like, fuck no, am I going to do that again? There are rumors that he was murdered rather than he killed himself, but I, like, this and Kurt Cobain, I'm like, no, I'm sorry, it's definitely suicide.
I mean, I feel like that's understandable. I wouldn't be surprised if it was people, obviously
he wasn't the only one.
People.
He wasn't the only one.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was lots of other people who felt and did the exact same thing.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not the only one in the exhibition to have eventually committed suicide, or died by suicide, I think you're supposed to say now. So the piece was presented with the label "Purchased with the Taxes of Working German People" by the National Gallery in 1920 for 12,000 marks, which is, this is a photograph from the exhibition here. The idea is that, like, you're supposed to go, what? They paid that much for it? 1920 was, like, a year of hyperinflation in Weimar Germany. So, like, it costing 12,000 marks is not actually that ridiculous. I tried to do I tried to do the conversion and I couldn't, because, like, this was the period of time where people were literally carrying money in wheelbarrows.
Oh.
The inflation was so bad that, like, currency was essentially worthless.
I see. So really, it's, again, propaganda, but it's like, it's not actually, didn't actually cost that much.
Yeah, and even if it did, like, there's art is valued at what it's valued at. Like, it's not. I know they say it's purchased by the taxpayer, but like, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason you get to display it for money. I'm going to contrast the womanhood we saw there with the womanhood we see here in this painting by Adolf Wessel, another Adolf. This is...
It's not such a popular name nowadays.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
So this is Kallenberg Peasant. Do you want to say what you can see that's going on here?
Yeah. It looks like a family. It looks like a, what would you call it? Nuclear family. I guess that's actually, they've got one child too many, technically, I think, for a nuclear family. But it looks like the parents, it looks like there's a mum, a dad, maybe grandma in the corner. And the kids all just sort of, seems like they're just sitting and it looks like they're sort of just having a relaxed time together, but they all look incredibly sad.
Yeah.
And like the mum's comforting one of the children. But it's very peculiar. It looks like they're meant to be having a nice time of like family time together, but they all just look really sad. Weird. Again, it looks a bit AI arty.
Yeah, it does.
Of like random things that just don't really feel like they should be going together, and everyone's kind of just got the same face.
Yeah,
but just it's very weird. The more I look at it, the weirder it gets.
There's some, yeah. So this painting was upheld as the kind of representation of Nazi ideals of children, kitchen, and church.
Oh, gotcha.
So you have got the, as you said, the nuclear family. There's the different. So in the kind of right hand of the painting, there is this 3 generations of mother, the grandmother, the matriarch of this family, and then her daughter, and then the daughter has a doll that's like in the bottom left-hand corner of the painting, kind of suggesting that like this is gonna continue forever and ever and ever, because the son is like looking directly out of the painting. He's like the most important one. Like the male child is gonna like continue the line for Germany.
He's kind of creeping me out, I won't lie.
Yeah, he's kind of creepy. He's holding like a toy horse and a toy soldier.
He's kind of staring into my soul.
Yeah.
It feels like, you know those pictures where like no matter where you move, it just feels like he's looking at you.
Yep. Woo. I'm going to read you a quote from Goebbels, because I already have a voice recording of me saying Hitler's speeches, so why not Goebbels? This is what he had to say about the role of a woman. The mission of a woman is to be beautiful. The female bird pretties herself for her mate and hatches the eggs for him. In exchange, the mate takes care of gathering the food, stands guards, and wards off the enemy. Right. First of all, bird science, wrong.
Incorrect.
That's not what sexual dimorphism looks like in birds. The male birds are pretty and attractive, and the female birds are fugly. Like, everyone knows this. If you've ever looked at birds, you would know this. But he hasn't looked at birds.
It's like the first thing you learn.
He just has ideas about birds. Anyway.
I also hated the imagery of thinking of like a human being like hatching an egg. It just
Gross.
makes me feel really icky. It's why I went because my brain was just like, oh, it makes me feel weird.
This painting as well is like it's depictions of peasants, and again this is like the Nazi, I guess, idealization of, or idealism around peasant life, and this like idea of a simple life on the farm, being close to the German land, and this idea of like blood and soil. It's grim. Also, everyone's blonde again.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because it's almost like, again, like trying to be like simple life and all of this stuff. And I feel like people in power who have these extreme views and want people to follow them, they almost need people who aren't going to question them. And I feel like it's a continuing theme of like, look at these simple things and these people just living their simple lives, and they're not questioning what's going on around them.
Well, this is the thing. That was one of the criticisms that Hitler had of modernist art, was that it's so high-minded, it's so intellectualized. Like, why should you have to read a user guide to understand a painting or a piece of art? It should be simple and just speak directly to the average person. And it's like, the average person is capable of complex thought. It's such a like undermining of like the actual abilities of people. And like it's such like it's a weird thing for me, because like all of my artistic practice is about communication and direct communication, and like this desire to be understood and trying to find ways of using kind of symbols, like for example the smiley face, to communicate directly with people without being misunderstood. But it obviously it comes from a similar place, and it's like such a weird thing, because like I understand it as my own insecurity about like not being understood by other people. He's like, it's because everyone else is wrong and stupid. It's so, yeah.
It's like, it can't be an issue with myself.
No.
I can't be at fault.
No. Let's talk about nature. This is the last sort of bit that we're going to talk about. There was a nature room, there was a landscape room, and the slogans that were associated with landscapes and abstract paintings were nature as seen through sick minds, and madness becomes method, and crazy at any price. Just kind of, it feels like something Trump would say.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
It's crazy at any price.
Could be a slogan.
Yeah. It's nature as seen through sick minds, eating the cats, eating the dogs.
That was a good one. That was better than your German accent.
Thank you. Not great, but better. This is a painting called "Study According to a Tree Trunk" by Christian Rolfs. So let's talk about it. What did the Nazis have against abstract art?
You have to use your brain.
Yeah, that's essentially, that's kind of it. So some Nazis, like in the beginning, including Goebbels actually, argued that expressionism could be an approved state art style, but it was deemed to be too confusing for the public, because fascism wasn't directing its propaganda at young, educated gallery goers. Essentially, the fascist propaganda was being directed at the masses, at working class people, at the peasant class. So it was deemed that like expressionism, they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Which is like, but I thought you were the master race. Like,
yeah.
surely they would get it if they're the best, you know? Like, I don't know.
That's the thing. It's feel like it's such a self-burn because it's either like, okay, so either you're running the country so badly and your education system's so bad, you don't think people can understand these things. Or as in this case, it's like, you think these are the, you know, best genes, the best people, and they can't understand a little bit of abstract art.
Yeah, it doesn't really, but, you know, like, I think a lot of the time left-wing people like ourselves will fall into the trap of trying to point out the logical fallacies when actually, like, yeah, it kind of...
I think it's just also interesting that, like, it's like everything that was acceptable has to be quite literal.
Yeah.
And I feel sometimes it's almost like... Obviously, they were trying to set a quite rigid and set regime, and I feel like literal art fits into that. There's not space for things that are abstract, because if people could think abstractly, they can then question the rules that they want to set.
Yeah, that's so true.
Well, if it's like having everything quite literal, and it's like it has to, because I feel like all the things they deemed good was essentially just realistic artwork representing like what basically, if you took a photo, that's sort of what, like, if something, sorry, rephrase that, basically like things that you could just take as a photo as artwork. And I think that's always interesting.
I see it a lot with like obviously like this week there was the Supreme Court ruling about like the definition of a woman, and I think I see it a lot with like the way that TERFs will fall into right-wing politics is because of this like need for clear categories and for things to be clearly defined, and it's like such a fundamental aspect of fascism that like it makes sense to me that people who think that way, who are like, no, there's two genders, are like taken in by kind of right-wing thinking, because it's easier to live that way. I think it's wrong, but it's like it's easy. Weird.
Yeah.
So, expressionist landscape art was actually like particularly hated because of what we were just talking about. Like, you can't pin it down. It doesn't represent anything. It doesn't represent anything to them. And because of like the national identity of Germany was linked to the landscape, to the land, and the rural people, the farmers, and the values that they held. You could even kind of associate the love of the landscape with this idea of Lebensraum, like the living space of the German people. So when they see people kind of abstracting it, it's like almost an insult to those ideals, but also it's like they can't see any way to use that artwork. So about Rolfs. Rolfs was a member of the International Congress of Progressive Artists. So he was not a Nazi, essentially. He was anti-nationalist. He was for kind of international relations across the arts. It's a cool dude. His art career really began as a teenager because he had to convalesce after getting an infection and having his leg amputated. And I think there's something to be said about like someone who, again, doesn't meet that Nazi ideal of the whole body and the sound mind. It brings me great joy to say that he died of old age.
Yay!
Yes!
He made it.
In 1938. He was an older artist, but like, feels good to say that.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't happen very often.
No, not in this story.
No.
So, in contrast, this is an example of a romantic landscape painting by Caspar David Friedrich. And again, this looks like AI art to me. Like, this is what AI art is modeled after. I mean, I really enjoy the work of Friedrich, but it does now come across as like, there's something about the composition of it. Everything is like a little bit too perfect, almost.
Yeah. I did get confused for a second because I thought the person in the middle that sort of like crouched on the floor, I did think that was a bear. And I was like, these people are very chill.
He's a guy who's dropped his hat. He's picking up his hat.
Yeah. Because in my head, I didn't see the hat first. I was like, why is there just a bear between these people? I was like, you should be scared. Black bears are scary.
You should be worried. Oh my goodness. Again, the reason the Nazis loved Friedrich's work because it's romantic. It's romanticizing the landscape, the relationship between the man and land, and that whole sort of pathetic fallacy thing of like nature reflecting man's emotions. And it's all sort of bright, high contrast, representative work that, yeah, it fits into their ideals of like how the German landscape looks, but not necessarily like how it makes you feel, which is what Rolfs was trying to do with his work. That brings us to the end of the artworks that we're going to look at. So I'm going to tell you what happened to the paintings after the show closed. The Degenerate Art Exhibition closed in November 1938 and then went on to travel to 13 German and Austrian cities until the fighting in 1941 made it impossible. The exhibition had millions of visitors. The art from the show met various fates, as did the artists. We know that some fled Germany, some attempted to remain and continue working, others committed suicide, many were Jewish and were murdered. The art itself was either destroyed, hidden, or in some cases sold to raise money for the Reich.
Ow.
Yeah, they took it to Switzerland and sold it at auction. Yeah.
I was like, this is terrible artwork, but we can still sell it.
Yeah. So the Degenerate Art Exhibition it's a pretty incredible piece of propaganda, I think. I mean, 3 million visitors overall. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then we go to Adolf Ziegler. What happened to him? So during the Second World War, Ziegler actually ended up in Dachau for a brief period of time.
Oh.
How
did he get there?
Basically, he told someone that he wasn't sure that Hitler was leading the country to victory, and then Hitler found out and sent him to the concentration camp as a punishment. He said that he said he had a defeatist attitude. But they were besties. So he got released after 6 weeks. Hitler had a change of heart. I think probably because he had to sleep under his painting for years. Yeah. He was like looking at that pubic hair going like, damn. I miss him, bro. I should call him. Ziegler lived the rest of his life with no career in the arts. He lived in solitude in a little village and died aged 66 of a heart attack. And I hope it hurt. We talked about this a little bit, but like one of the reasons that I wanted to cover this exhibition was that I see the same talking points thrown around online about modern art particularly about skill and like whether art took skill to make.
Yeah.
And this criticism of modern art, for example, like the banana taped to a wall that people were like so angry and incensed about because, you know, it's skillless. All they did was duct tape a banana to the wall and it sold for so much money. And it worries me that people, I don't know if it's a fault in arts education or if it's or if it's the success of the propaganda from the other side that people feel like art has to be good and skillful to be worth something, when actually like it's just like human expression. Like it doesn't.
And sometimes it's like, sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead.
I'm about to be like, things like this, it's like art is one of the main things art often is meant to be doing is invoking emotion in people. And it's like, it's exactly doing that. It's made you angry because you're like, what is this? Like, this is ridiculous. And it's like, probably that was the point.
Yeah. Like the work was about the ridiculousness of like the kind of hyper capitalist art market. And people being annoyed about it. You're annoyed at the wrong person, dude. Like,
it's almost like this person probably agrees with you to a certain extent, and that's why they've done it.
It's I think and again, like when it comes to like representation of people in work as well, like there's such little room for flaws or nuance, or like they want every depiction of a soldier, for example, like to be this, you know, like idealized, like the Übermensch, the action man who will save the day. And like if you show any of the reality of like war, it's kind of why are you talking bad about our troops? You got to respect our troops. It's like, well, they're not my troops for a start, but you know, like I just it concerns me that like so much of what was being said back then about artwork is still being said. And I don't think that it's like a case of suddenly these talking points are coming back up. I think it's that we've never really like healed that relationship between art and like the general population. It's always been, it is elitist and it does shut people out. I just, it combined with like a Trump presidency that is like very involved in higher education and colleges, and I'm sure they will come for arts colleges soon. It's like, I don't know, I want people to kind of know this story to recognize it. I don't know what the step is after that though. Like this is the thing, like I have that like sort of cursed autism brain where I'm like patterns, I see them everywhere, and then I'm sort of like,
now what?
What do I do with this? How do I what happens next?
Well, I think it's this issue that I think people have this idea that you have to be able to create art and like have skill to do art to be able to appreciate it in the first place. Because I always be like, as you know, I remember as a kid, we often went to lots of different art galleries and I always really enjoyed it, even though I'm not like someone who would ever consider myself an artist. I wouldn't say I'm not a particularly creative person at all, to be honest, overall. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm not. It's just not for me. I'm a scientist. No. That's what I do. I like things that have rules.
You like data.
Yeah, exactly. But I still feel like I really enjoy looking at art, and I think I could still really appreciate it. But people don't. I think people feel like if they can't create it, or they're not interested in it or creative themselves, that they can't look at art and take something away from it. And I don't think that's the issue, is that, say, like when you learn about art in school, most of the time it's not actually about actually like looking at art and learning from it. It's about how to create something that looks like this, or oh, this is a technique, we're doing it, and then you're not good at it and you're just like, oh, this art thing isn't for me because I can't seem to make anything good, and then you think you can't appreciate any of it.
And I think that's why like so much of people who would never talk about art in any other context apart from, I could have done that.
Yeah.
You know, like that looks easy to do. Like this idea of like, if I could have done it, then it's worthless. And it's like, my love, you have worth.
Yeah. Literally. And like, I think it's also because like people, again, like this whole like, oh, you can't make bad art. It's like, yes, you can. We have looked at some bad art today. Yeah. It's like,
that fucked up moose.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Sorry, I just remembered it. I
think you said it was throwing up a tissue, which is perfect.
But no.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's also just one of those. Sorry, my brain was just rambling.
No, please.
You finish. Because I was thinking, I was like, I think also because people don't realise there's different ways to appreciate things. Because I remember being at school and I had a maths teacher, Mr. Nimi, I remember him. And he one day was, one of our maths lessons, he was really inspired by this like range of art by an artist, because it was based in maths. I can't really remember what it was. It's too long.
Could have
been
like fractal art or something.
Say it again, sorry?
Was it like fractal art?
I don't know what that means. So
ignore. Carry on.
It was basically like this artwork that like, it was mostly the colours of like red and blue, and it was almost blocky, but they kind of faded into each other.
Right.
And it was somehow based in maths. I can't remember why.
Okay.
And I remember he just was like, we're just going to spend today like thinking about it and recreating something like this. And like, because he was just like, you know, I just really appreciate this aspect of this artwork. And he was, and I think that's the thing, is like, he as he's said himself, you know, he's not an artist. He's, you know, he likes maths and he likes numbers, but this thing just had this sort of, it just made him feel a lot, and he could really appreciate it. Even
that's
though,
so beautiful.
And if you looked at the art, it very much was like, yeah, I probably could recreate this art, because it was kind of just like red slightly fading into blue, like very nothing. I was like, there's nothing necessarily highly skilled about it necessarily. Maybe there could have been, but like, I feel like most people would have probably looked at it and gone, I could have done that.
Yeah.
And but I was like, but it still has so much. It can still have so much impact.
It can mean something to one maths teacher somewhere.
Yes, that one lonely maths teacher. Wherever he may be now.
That's so nice. I mean, he's probably still around the corner from us.
Yeah, probably.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a journey, and it was so long, but I really want to say thank you to you for like all your insight and your help, and you did great. And
I'm glad.
I'm even more convinced that me, you, and Frankie have to make our TV rewatch podcast together.
That would be great. I honestly, this whole time, I was like, I have no clue if this is good or not. I'm just gonna chat what my brain says. And
that's perfect. That's perfect. We call it the flow state. So thank you to you, Issy. You don't want to be found anywhere, right?
No, I'm not. Great. I'm not real.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So that means I have to do my plugs. As your sister. Yeah. So I have to say thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed the show, please share with a friend. If you want to, you can follow the show on Instagram and Blue Sky at stuff.jpgpod. And you can follow me on everything at Holiday St Clair. That's 2 L's, and St Clair is Saint Clair. And if you're really not sure, just Google me, it'll come up.
If you see a smiley face, see you know
face.
it's her. Then.
Oh my goodness. Right. That's it. We done it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I have to stop the recording. Shit.
Stop.